Brian Moran. I'm the Operations Manager for PaperlinX and a subsidiary of that, PaperlinX Logistics Services. Well, before we had UpTrack, all our base routes were done via manual planners, and the company started to branch out into other product areas. So we initially were presented with just delivering for paper merchants, but our product mix then diversified into what we call VTS, which is visual and signage product. That product is very large, 3 meters by 2 meters, and the two products together wouldn't naturally fit. And that's where UpTrack came into its own, really. It knows all about our product mix and configurations of our specialist vehicles and time-sensitive customers that we have. UpTrack was selected initially by Robert Horn, who are one of the companies that PaperlinX ultimately acquired a number of years ago. Robert Horn, being an innovative company, wanted a solution to their routine. It provided ETAs for our sales teams. But in order to select that route scheduling software, we obviously went out to the market. And what attracted us to UpTrack is the fact that it was customizable. It wasn't something that you just took off the shelf and what you got was what you had. And if you wanted to develop it and change it with your business, it would mean that you would have to go through a number of channels in order to do that, and could prove quite costly. What's great about UpTrack and the team at UpTrack is that if you have a problem or you want to solve it, or something quite different about your company or the issues you have as a company, there's a way through that. Between the two companies, we've developed a number of add-ons as our company's grown. A great one was when we moved to UpTrack 4 and diversified into these other product areas. We needed to develop new vehicles with multi-compartments to deal with different product mixes, and that meant specifying and creating a new vehicle loader so UpTrack understood what we understood, and that proved as a collaboration very, very successful, and effectively is the baseline for how we route all our vehicles today. And UpTrack provides a very rounded solution in order to create the best outcome for each day. Because for us, every day is different. There's no fixed routes, there's no fixed puzzle to solve on a day-to-day basis. So the planner will not know until 7 o'clock in the evening what his order well or what his puzzle's likely to be. And what UpTrack does is, as a tool, because it's not a definitive answer, but use that with the planner's own local and customer knowledge, is the two combined helps to present that picture back at the end of the day. On a daily basis, we have quite a complex puzzle to solve at the end of each day. So we have a number of sites who will either route for themselves, or they will route for sort of a sister site, if you like. So we have, I think, 6 planners now around the country who will receive all their order well, or their tasks, if you like, right the way up to 7 o'clock at night. That's when they see what the puzzle they have to solve, and then each of those planners will then find the most efficient route using UpTrack as a tool. And then the great thing that comes beyond that is that it actually links back into our back office. So the results of those plans will go back to our transport management system, update all our order profiles so that not only our sales organisations but our external customers can actually see their orders, track them in real time, because it actually links into our POD software, so it all comes to one place. So we have a central system that UpTrack feeds, our PODs feed, so we have a plan versus actual updates during the day. Well, when we first first introduced TopTrack into Robert Horton, moving from a manually planned system to one that's more dynamic, we saved approximately 10 to 15% of our national fleet. Coinciding that with developing into more specialist vehicles that contributed to that saving as well. When PaperlinX bought Robert Horton along with two other companies, we used OpTrack to strategically look at those three logistics infrastructures and find a way of putting them all into one. Now, going back to when we started that process in 2007, where we had 55 sites and 400 vehicles, we now have 12 sites and 150, 160 vehicles in play. There's obviously been some market shift within that, where our business has contracted over the years, but the realisation of those savings, particularly when looking at multiple sites in a location, as an example in Manchester we had 5 depots across all the companies, and now putting them all into one could not have been achieved without having a computer vehicle routing system in order to look at that and see what the ultimate solution could be, and then finding a plan to move towards that. Yes, I mean, when dealing with a company like OpTrack, for me it's more of a personal service. We know Tim, we know the developers, and we feel that they know our business. You wouldn't necessarily get that level of personal service with some of the other companies that are available. So yes, as far as a recommendation, I couldn't recommend OpTrack highly enough, particularly if you've got a business that moves or is looking to diversify or change the way it operates. The planners, developers that you've got that are at OpTrack are a key resource for us to say, well, this is our problem. We know we've got a solution in place, but is there a better way of doing this, and working hand in hand to say, well, actually we can twist and turn this model to actually give you what you need. It's always good to have somebody who you work with who has an appreciation for you as a business and what you do, and has an insider knowledge.